Hello. In this session, we are starting with some of the further ideas about security services, mechanisms, and attacks. You may remember that we have already talked about the services and mechanisms. Some of these are the parts which will support to countermeasure with your attacks itself. So I'll try here to give you further insights to have certain idea in for the say having certain precautions against the attacks. So we already talked about the security triad, where the triad says that we need to concern for the confidentiality, integrity, and the availability, as there is no any measure or any unit for having the measuring of your security concerns. That is normally what we do that. Okay, if it is the distance, then for calculation of a distance we'll use some unit as the meter or kilometer. For example, if the calculation of the time is there, we use as the second, millisecond, or some hours or days are there. But to calculate security concerns, we don't have any of the unit. So we need to find out some of the parameters, and out of those parameters, which parameters are getting satisfied, we need to find it out. So basically we need to have here the three parameters and over which the entire security concern is there. Now we have already looked about for the security attacks. Out of these security attacks, I'll say that snooping is that is the release of message contents and the traffic analysis. Possibly these are the passive attacks, and remaining are already the active attacks what we have considered. Now for those attacks, somewhere we have taken some of the measures to have certain say precaution against those threats, but still if it is the snooping, that is the release of message contents are there, or even traffic analysis is there, that is if any pattern of the traffic or the message exchange is observed by the opponent, then in that case there is a threat of your confidentiality. So you need to have certain measures which will say have the precaution for your confidentiality concern. Now when we go for the, now I'll just come back to here the denial of the service. So denial of the service, that service may be from any of the resource, maybe from a person, maybe from say equipment, maybe from your server, maybe from your printer, or any of the resource what actually it is engaged in the say operation of your computers and your networks and the communication of your information over the network. So if any denial of the service, that means the service of the particular resource is not allowed to utilize. That means that particular resource is made somewhat blocked. So you can say that the information or the resource is not made available for providing the service. So there is a threat of the availability. And remaining concern we can consider that if any modification of the message is there or the information is there, or if any say fabrication of the information is there, even if some one entity is pretending as if it is the second, that is the spoofing is considered, or even if the data is passed again and again, that is the replay attack is there. Obviously we consider replay as the active attack, because even though there is no change in the information what you are replaying, but it will be replayed at the cost of the other message itself. That means the other message is suppressed, and this particular message, this particular packet will be passed again and again over the session or over certain times of the interval. And there is some threat of repudiation, where the repudiation says that okay, the person or the peer entity will deny that okay, it is coming from the same peer itself. So here in all, for this particular concern, we may consider that this is the threat of your integrity itself. Now starting with one of the table. The table is made with the services and the mechanisms, and we need to find out the relation of the say mechanisms to the services. So I have listed down here few of the mechanisms. These are the mechanisms, and few of the services across your rows. So we need to find out if the intersection is there, say for a specific service, which mechanism is or that can be mapped. I can explain in a way that we'll start here with the encipherment. So encipherment we are knowing that this is basically used for the confidentiality. So I just say that this is the basic intention of have a countermeasure for your confidentiality threat itself. But along with this, again, the encipherment is also useful for your traffic flow confidentiality. That means if any traffic is there and to have certain precaution against that flow check, then you need to go for the encipherment. There are other also some services are there where you can say that some peer entity authentication or data origin authentication is there. Now there is a question in our mind that how the authentication be checked with your encipherment, but the solution is given in a way that encipherment, that is the cryptography we are learning in this particular course. So cryptography, though it is majorly used against your confidentiality, many of the times it is said that because already we have seen that encipherment goes for a certain function which is the mathematical function and which is one-to-one and reversible function. So if plain text is converted to ciphertext, so obviously after decryption the ciphertext should get converted into the plain text, and if we are getting the same plain text, that means it is the measure or it is the confirmation that you are applying the correct algorithm, and rather the operation of the algorithm is correct one, and that's why it can also be used for the authentication purpose. No doubt confidentiality is the major provision by your encipherment, but authentication can be allowed, or the data origin, that is from the source, who is the source, can be allowed with this particular encipherment, so as the data integrity. Because why data integrity? Whenever we retrieve back the plain text itself, data integrity, the characteristic of the integrity is that we need to find out the accuracy of the retrieved data. So it can be there. Of course, this particular mapping is dependent on the person specific ideas or the concerns, but majority of the ideas I am just giving you here. Some or other way, some plus minus say mappings may be there, but the major idea, or rather in what way the mapping should be there, I'll give you some thought process here. In a similar way, if I go for the digital signature, now in the digital signature I have just given the mark, that is the arrow here, or this right mark is given, that this is the basic operation. Likewise for the confidentiality, this is the basic operation. For your digital signature, actually for the making the authentication of the origin, you have to use a digital signature. It is said that if the authentication of the other peer is to be checked, now for the destination authentication, many of the times hash functions are useful. The literature says so. But still, we are having here the data origin authentication as the basic idea with the digital signature, so as the destination can also be checked, so I can have here the operation. That is, the digital signatures are used to check whether the receiver is the legitimate or not. Just check it out with certain handshakes or the certain passing out some message and retrieving back the acknowledgement for this one, and again giving the acknowledgement to the acknowledgement. For example, you are using some TCP in your communication where the three-way handshakes are there, and that is only to confirm whether the peer entities are the proper or not. In a such a way, again, for the data integrity, it is said that the literature says that the digital signatures are useful for the data integrity. Now again there is a question mark, why data integrity is used for the digital signature. So in a case, in your encipherment, we use the characteristic of your data integrity that some accurate data is to be retrieved back. And in the case of your digital signature, while having some mapping for your data integrity, we may say that whatever data you are receiving back, it should be the consistent one. So in the consistency, if the focus for your integrity, then we can say that digital signatures are used as one of the mechanisms for having or providing the service of your data integrity. Obviously, it is dependent on the what type of the application you are providing. Non-repudiation is of course again one more parameter. So wherever you want to just say that no party should have some denial of the passage of your information, then for confirming this one also you can have the denial of signature as the say one of the mechanism which can be integrated, which can be provided to have a service of your non-repudiation. So I have just, as I said, that I have given the tick mark here for the basic operation. Then I have given some yellow marks, those are the highlighters, those are allied operations, and whatever are the remaining operations or the remaining mappings are there, these are can be or some allowed operations with these particular mechanisms to the services itself. Again, in a similar way for your access control, definitely access control should get matched with your access control itself. If the access control is given with certain credential to the user, or if it is with the cross check of your password, there are so many ways in what way you are using. You can club down this particular access control to the service itself. Again, for the data integrity, definitely the data integrity is matched to your data integrity service itself, because this is the major involvement of the given mechanism. At the same time, you can have the utilization for the non-repudiation and of course for the availability of your information. So that is very clearly you can understand the idea why it is actually mapped here. Now in your authentication exchange, as I said that the peer entity authentication is very important. So whenever the exchanges of your say handshakes are there, then you need to go for the peer entities who are involved in the given communication should be authenticated first, and then only you can start the exchanges of your information. When you need to go for the traffic padding, actually traffic padding is one of the idea that whenever the traffic analysis is there, I just gone for the traffic flow confidentiality. So in a traffic of your messages in a communication, user always concentrates on the pattern of the traffic, and for this purpose you need to have certain disturbance in the pattern itself, and finding out the disturbance you need to go for some certain added information which is actually irrelevant. That irrelevant information only to have the specific size of your block. There are different again applications of your pad elements. So some of the unwanted information or non-relevant information, if you embed into your particular packet itself, then you can say that it's a traffic padding, and that will go for your traffic flow confidentiality. That is the use you can say. Likewise, you can have here the routing control. In the routing control, again, whenever you pass the information from one source to the destination, whatever is the route defined, you need to change the route many of the times. Many of the protocols will go for having the shortest route discovery for the algorithm itself. Some research is going on for such consideration, but still whatever is the routing you are having with your particular algorithm, you need to go for certain control over this one, and the routing control is definitely can be carried out to have certain confidentiality for your traffic flow assessment. In a similar way, you can have here for the confidentiality, so these go hand in hand, so we can have here the claim for both of these. Likewise, whenever you need to have certain notarization, it is the concept that you need to have the check like your physical signature whenever you put with your paper documents. Likewise, you can have here the notarization with certain say with the same parties who are involved in the communication, or maybe from the third party who is authorized to have the governance of the particular traffic itself. So notarization is required here, and that is basically the basic aim for this one is the non-repudiation. So obviously this particular idea is very important, because whenever we design any of the security algorithm or any of the security application, we need to provide certain services, and those services are the combinations of more than one mechanisms together, and accordingly we can have the design itself. Now in a similar fashion, we can arrange the table for the security services and the attacks. So across the columns you are having the attacks. Those attacks are, the first two are the passive attacks as we discussed earlier, and the remaining are the active attacks, which are the major categories of the attacks. Of course, we are following the book by William Stalling, that is the Cryptography and Network Security. The literature may slightly change. The concept is the same one, but author to author or the perception of the particular author may change, and we are just using the perception which is given by the book, what we are referring in our textbook itself. Now some of the services, the earlier services, the total 8 services we have listed in the previous table itself, the same 8 services are given. Now we need to map which service is to be allowed or is to be used as if it is the countermeasure for your attack. For example, whether the peer entity authentication is there, which say this service should be provided to which of the attacks. So in that way I tried to just give some mapping here. So I'll just start here because this is one of the active attack and we very well aware about this particular attack, which is the dangerous attack itself. So obviously if two parties are in a communication, the source and the destination, so of course the peer entity who are involved in the exchanges of your information, the authentication of those is required. So I'll just give here the yes as the element here that says that peer entity authentication is to be provided for the avoiding your masquerade as one of the attack. In a similar way, the data origin authentication should be there and that should be provided as one of the service. Obviously, you need to have the control, the accesses of the entities involved in the communication. So access control is another part which needs to be considered here. Confidentiality is not so required, so I have not given the mapping here. So as the traffic flow confidentiality we are not considering because we are just checking whether the entities involved are legitimate or not. We are not concerned for the data itself, so we have not mapped here again. And obviously whenever the entities are involved, after having the exchanges of the information, no one should deny that I have sent the message or I have not received the message. So you need to have the non-repudiation. So in a case I have given such type of these mappings for providing the services against your attacks. Now I'll come back again to this particular row itself. For this row, I'll say that whenever the traffic analysis is there, for the traffic analysis, of course, the traffic flow confidentiality is sufficient. In the earlier table, what we have mapped the confidentiality also here for this particular traffic analysis. But still, I feel that the traffic flow confidentiality is sufficient. So this is the major mapping we can give. In a similar way, the confidentiality can be offered for the release of message content. So if your messages are to be encrypted, then you can offer the confidentiality as the major service because the cost of offering of traffic flow confidentiality is slightly higher than, so if we try to give both of these to have the countermeasure for your traffic analysis, slightly it will be costlier. So I think this is sufficient and you can have the say such type of the precautions. So I'll just try to fill up the remaining table or the part of the table. Now I'll say that if the replay attack is there, for your replay attack, of course this should check with your data integrity because whatever is the data you are passing over the channel, if that data is not accurate and not consistent, so obviously data integrity precautions are sufficient to countermeasure the replay attacks. In a similar way, if I say that the modification of the messages are there, then data integrity is sufficient. So you can say that for the replay and the modification of the messages, that particular single precaution is sufficient. In a similar way, for your denial of service, you can say that if you are checking for the availability of your particular concern there, then that is sufficient because if the particular resource is made available to have the or providing the services, that particular concern can be considered with the availability itself. Now in a similar fashion, another table is there providing security mechanisms against the attacks. The same attacks I have listed down. The first two are the passive attacks, the remaining 4 are the active attacks. And the mechanisms, again there are 8 mechanisms, like your 8 security services. You are having 8 broadly classified as the mechanisms. These mechanisms are given and we need to have the mapping. So encipherment, that is your say against your confidentiality, you need to provide encipherment, that is the cryptographic algorithm. So obviously that is for your release of message contents are there. Now if you find out that is the message contents are released to some non-legitimate person, then definitely the access control should also be provided there. Now, if the traffic analysis is there, obviously we have seen that the access control to watch the particular traffic is to be, say, you need to have certain precaution over this one. So should we provide some traffic analysis for the encipherment? In the earlier slide, we checked that, okay, the confidentiality is not so required, but definitely will require here the traffic padding is one of the idea. So in a similar fashion, I tried to just map the particular table here, and we can find it out. The table is given in a way. So for your release of message contents, you need to go for the majorly as the encipherment, then the access control as we discussed. Then you can say that authentication exchange is there, that is to whom you are passing your message itself may provide, or that may be some supporting one, or you can say that the routing control also may be there. We are just considering this message passage over the particular communication channel itself. For your traffic analysis, we have majorly gone for the traffic say access control, and then traffic padding and the routing control is there. In a similar way, for the spoofing, that is the masquerade attack, you need to have the digital signature. We already discussed about the same one. You need to have the access control of a third party, that is a non-legitimate user, to the particular device or the particular IP address or the identity with which the particular user is identified in the particular channel itself. Then you need to have the authentication exchanges, already we discussed it, and notarization may be supported for this particular attack. For the replay attack, you need to go for here the digital signature can be one of the major, or you can have the access control, which is actually the basic countermeasure for the replay attack, and the data integrity also is the major or the basic idea for your replay attack, so as your authentication exchange and your notarization. Similarly, you can have your modification of the messages, you can have the check with the digital signature. Actually, this is the overall idea, not necessary that all tick marks what I have given here, you are agreeing with this one, but basically which is the major one, or rather which is the best one, which is the first one, you need to have the map of the particular mechanism or the service to the attack itself. Now, based with the earlier concepts what we learned so far with certain tables, I have few of the questions for you. This is the communication from Bob to the allies, and as a dark person or the analyst or the opponent, we can use the DERTH, which are the earlier entities in the communication channel itself. Of course, such figures, I have taken those figures from the William Sterling book, and the copyright is with the book itself. When the communication is from the Bob to the allies, I'll just ask you what type of the attack it is. So this communication actually is going on in a proper way. At the same time, the communication is listened to the DERTH itself. The person observes the pattern of the messages from the Bob to the allies. So what type of the attack it is, whether it's a passive attack or the active attacks. We have already talked about the same thing. Now that attack can be described as, so what is your choice, whether it's a content modification? No, not surely, it's not the modification. But it's a traffic analysis? Yes, it's a traffic analysis, because we are saying that it is not a replay attack or even non-repetition is there. So in a way we can have the answer for this particular situation, that this attack is necessarily is the passive attack. We have already learned it, and then it is the traffic analysis. We can have the description in a way. I'll go for the other question, the second question here. So there is a situation from the Bob and the allies again. There is a DERTH. DERTH from the DERTH, the message from the DERTH that appears to be that he creates the message and sends it to the allies itself, and allies may interpret that the message is received from the Bob itself. So what kind of the attack you can describe this one? Any guess? Whether it's a change of the modification contents, that is the modification is there, or whether this is the fabrication you are going for, or it is the release of the message content because the DERTH is releasing the message, or you need to have the control over the destination because this is the destination and the Bob needs to have the control over this one. Some exchanges should be there. So what kind of the attack is there? What is your suggestion? So in a way, I can say that the attack should be, okay, masquerade. That is the kind of the attack is there. The entity, the third entity, the Dearth is pretending as if he is the Bob. It is not the modification. Obviously, it's a fabrication type of the attack. It is not modification, because in a case of your modification, the earlier message is to be modified. Now the second question says, which is in line with this one, that is the above attack is also known as identity violation or identity snipping or the spoofing or the duplication of the identity. Your opinion? So buzzword in the security is your spoofing. The answer is that it's a masquerade attack and it is going for the spoofing itself. So these are the this is the pictorial view of your particular attack to have the better understanding. There is a third question in a similar fashion. Again, the Bob and the other party is some of the resources there. The server is there. Bob wants to get the service from the server itself, but at the same time, meanwhile, there is some person who is the third person. Again, the say opponent is there. You may find out the look of that particular opponent is slightly, it's looking like a villain here in the communication channel. So Dearth disrupts the service provided by the server. The service is not made available to the Bob itself. So yes, your guess is right. The answer, what kind of the attack is there? The attack is, it's not the modification of the content, it's not the fabrication of the content, it is you are not going to check any integrity of your message, but it's a denial of service. So denial of the service is there, and for this, what provision or what countermeasure you are going to manage the particular attack. So whether should we go for the encryption? Should we have certain control over the accesses? Should we have the checksum value? Or should we have certain notarization of the entities involved? Yes, obviously, you can say that the answer is the access control. You need to have certain, say, control of your entire communication, that there should not be any third party involvement for the particular communication. So in that way, the specific example of your resource sharing or the denial of that particular resource to Bob itself can be taken care of. So here I just try to end up the tutorial. In a way, you can have some similar exercises, you can have some similar reading, so that you will be aware of these basic concepts. So obviously, whenever you will be using any of the application, in an application, what precaution should be used, that should be clear to you. Thank you.